Greetings, I'm Reverend John O'Toole, and today we're going to talk about growing microgreens on hemp mats. Now, hemp is a reusable uh, or renewable, not reusable, of course. It's a renewable um, crop, and you can take the stalks and you can make all kinds of things. They do hemp oil and they do a variety of different products. So the stalks that are left over are made into these mats. And so today, in this particular show, we're showing how well microgreens does in these mats. Now, I'm not sure if I would grow anything other than microgreens in them because there's a very little soil line. So unless you continue to nurture your plants with some kind of nutrient solution like they use for hydroponics, it's a short-lived crop like microgreens. And as many of you know, microgreens is generally harvested within a couple of weeks, sometimes within a week, depending on the particular crop you're growing. Radishes in particular, they take less time to grow. They're a rather fast-growing crop. Sunflowers, they take a little longer. They have a different kind of a root structure, but they actually done very well in this video. The seed that I used is rather old. It's probably more than a year old, and I think it's a little dry, so I didn't get a lot of germination. However, the seed mats have performed very well, and there's all different kinds of soils you can use for growing microgreens, and there are also some techniques to grow without soil, as you've seen in one of my videos. So it's just about what works for you. The environment of your home, or if you're growing outside, is going to affect how well your microgreens do and how often you tend to them, meaning water them. Now with these mats, you have to be sure you water every day because the mats will dry out very quickly in a dry climate. My green room, my weeds room, is in the weeds room is the only thing I don't grow but weed. Not that I couldn't, but the only thing I don't grow in here is weed. So it's part of my house. So the environment of my house is directly related to what goes on in the weeds room. If you had a greenhouse, or if you were doing this in your basement or your garage or just plain all outside, you would have a different environment. It's the same with sunlight. Microgreens do very well under practically constant grow lights situation. And if you're having to depend on the sun in the Berkshires, you may have some challenges there for your microgreens, although they might still do very well. It really just depends. They like the 70-degree temperature. If you can't maintain that outside, then you might have a problem, and they're not going to like it if it's up close to 100 outside. So you have to be able to control the environment because it's just a seedling growing from the seed. It's a dainty little thing. It hasn't had a chance to grow up. Sunflowers aren't very tasty once they get their second set of leaves, and then they get very woody. Same thing with peas. As they grow taller, they'll get very woody. So it's a young harvest. You harvest within 14 days, sometimes sooner, sometimes a little longer, depending on the particular seed. And it makes a great addition to soups and salads and sandwiches, or just eating them straight off the tray, like some nice gentleman here has done. So I hope you enjoy the video. It's basically going to play music through most of it, and you'll see some harvesting, some daily watering, some soaking of seeds. The larger seeds like the sunflowers and peas, barley, wheat, grass, any kind of seed that has a hard hull on it or a shell has to be soaked overnight. Seeds that are very small, like for greens like lettuces and radishes, those kind of things that have a very small seed, they don't have to be soaked. But in fact, you're going to have a hard time soaking them overnight. They'll just end up in a big clump. So basically you'll shake it out onto the mat, and then you'll spray it down with some water. A spray bottle would be ideal. I use a pump sprayer, which is commonly used for microgreens. You don't put anything else in the container but water. In fact, that's all you do with your microgreens is water. Some people use different kinds of things in the water that they feed their microgreens with. But if you buy a good quality organic seed that's designed for microgreens, you shouldn't have to do much treatment to the product unless you have a very high humid environment. Then you might need to use some kind of fungicide, some kind of natural organic fungicide that you don't mind drinking yourself. You're not going to, poison your microgreen that you're going to eat. So I hope you enjoy this video. The first part of this video, the first 3 minutes, was of a contest entry that I did into Rode microphones, and I thought that video came out quite nice. I thought I'd share it with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Ta-ta for now. TTIFN. Da-da-da-da-da.